Alright, so we've reached day 37 of the grid. And it's been going alright since I've gotten back from Madrid. I've been keeping it nice and consistent and I haven't been slacking too much. Now, there have been a few couple of weekends that I have given into a bit of booze, but I haven't really flown off the rails and binged on food. I've had a few beers, maybe a few glasses of wine, and as for the snacks, I've kind of held off, and that has shown in the results that I've generated so far, so I'm pretty pleased about that. And like I said, as I was going to take that period after Madrid to the moment I left for Ireland, I had about a good 2 weeks. If I look here, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So exactly 2 weeks of consistent good nutrition, exercise, and all that good stuff to get myself into relatively good shape, you could say, or to get a few extra results before I go off for this next week and give in to a few of the temptations that are going to be presented. So, like I said, there's going to be a wedding coming up, and I'm going to be away from the gym. I'm not really going to be taking my sports gear with me because I'm very limited as to what I can bring when I go on these trips, especially if you're flying budget airlines like Ryanair. You can only bring a tiny little bag along with you, so you can't really fit in your sports shoes mixed with your suit shoes and all of that. So, gotta be giving that a break. I think I will still try and fit something in, like a quick hit session, maybe a 15-20 minute hit session. I'm gonna keep the fasting going, but like I said, weddings, that means alcohol, that means food, that means, just kind of easing off for a little bit. So that's going to be interesting. We'll see what that does to my results. But let's just have a look at the grid and see what I've been doing in these 2 weeks since I've gotten back from Madrid to the build-up to Ireland. So let's have a look. I'm not even too sure what I've been doing, but I know I've been doing something right as the results have been showing. So I'm looking leaner, which is good. I'm feeling good about that. And let's see how I got to being a little bit leaner than I was when I came back from Madrid. So let's have a look here. Got back from Madrid, I fasted, I did cardio. Then the following day I fasted, I did a hit session, working on my chest, my back, and my shoulders and biceps. So a bit of a full body right there. And then the following day, and this goes without saying, I keep going back to my baseline of a minimum of 10,000 steps, a minimum of 3 liters of water a day, and a minimum of 5 a day of fruit and vegetables. Now I eat a lot of fruit and veg, so that goes without saying, but I'm always trying to fit in some form of greens, whether it be kale in the shakes or spinach, beans in curries, peas, and courgettes and all other good vegetables that are out there. And then fruits, I love apples, I love bananas, I love fruit in general, cherries, peaches, nectarines, all that good stuff, melons, they're all coming out at the moment. It's the season, so might as well get involved, and it's better than eating sweets at the end of the day. So I've been doing that as my baseline, and I've been chucking in the HIIT training, the fasting, the full body HIIT session again on the 3rd day with a fast. So I usually fast, like today I'm fasted. I don't know, what time is it? It's 20 to 2, I'm still fasted. I'm going to go for a run after this video, I've decided. Thought I was going to do a HIIT session, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow before I leave. That way I can bang out that last HIIT session before who knows when I'll get involved with the next one. So again, full body HIIT session. Then on the 4th day, I was fully fasted, went for a run, did some pull-ups to dips. Did that 6 times, so I remember that was 8 pull-ups, then I ran to the dip bar and I did 10 dips. I guess it's kind of a little HIIT session. I did that 6 times. I did drink a little bit, so I put that in red. Then the following day, I guess that was a Friday probably. Then the following day, I fasted, I didn't work out, and I did drink as well that evening. Now here's the thing, because I didn't fly off the rails and eat any sort of high calorie foods along with that alcohol, I don't think I drank too much either, because I would have put a note down. I didn't give myself an O or an X. Okay, in theory I should have actually put myself a no on the 2nd day, because alcohol contains a lot of calories, and all the good you do in a day For example, if you work out hard and you go out and you have like a lot of alcohol, that could negate all of the progress you've done in that day. Won't negate all of it, but it will take a lot of it away. And also, if you think about it, alcohol is poisoning your body. But alcohol is poison, so if you're trying to repair the muscle, the best thing to do is to not drink alcohol. The best thing to do would be to eat the carbohydrates and the proteins to really feed that muscle. So you got to keep that into account. Anyway, then on Sunday I did a full body HIIT session. I don't think I fasted, no, because on Sunday, I remember that day, I just started eating all morning. I don't know what took over me there. But yeah, I got involved with some chocolate as well, I remember. I think I had some pancakes, and then I just went hard with the full body HIIT session, which was pretty good. I think that one lasted a good 45 minutes, close to an hour. Did I write that session down? I think I just remember that session. I did a whole thing where it was like I did 100 burpees, I did like 6 times 8 pull-ups to 10 push-ups, and then I did these overhead squats to shoulder presses, single arm, and then like some sort of kettlebell swings. So that was good. Okay, consistent. Then the following day I fasted. I went to the gym. I worked on my chest, my back, and my legs. So a bit of a full body right there. Then the following day this whole week I had a fever. So we come into this week. This week? Last week. Still recovering. Right, so then I had a fever. And I went for a run that morning. I remember I was reading. I woke up, I was reading, and I just don't know what was... Okay, this was a Monday here. So it was Monday I went to the gym. Because I remember on Tuesday I woke up and I felt weird. And when I was reading, I had a headache and I couldn't figure out why I was feeling so bad. So I decided to go for a run because I could feel something coming on. I thought I could sweat it out. I don't know if that actually works, but in my mind it works. So I went for the run. Then I got back and I didn't feel too good. And then that night I called it an early night really fast, and I went to bed at like 9 o'clock. And then I woke up the following day. I was still sick with a fever, but I did, however, do my steps. I drank loads of water and I drank like these green shakes. So tons of vegetables in it and tons of fruit and ginger to try and overcome that fever, which was pretty intense, and I'm still suffering a little bit from it. I'm a bit bunged up and I got a bit of phlegm in my throat, and that's annoying. And it made me feel weak, which kind of slowed down my progress because I couldn't work out. Every time I would move rapidly, or if I were to do a burpee or something, my head would really start pounding and it would hurt. So I laid off. I had a fever again the following day. I fasted because fasting is quite good. It helps repair the cells. It helps regenerate a lot of the body. So I thought it would help me overcome this bit of fever. And I think it kind of helps. But also, I think eating food sometimes is a good idea. I'm not a doctor. I just know that fasting is good for overcoming sickness from time to time. And then I think Friday rolled around. Yes, it did. I didn't exercise on Friday. I fasted. And then I went out to a restaurant and I had some booze, some Thai food, some crisps. Okay, that's why I got a little circle there. Then the following day, I hit the gym. I hit the chest. I went very, very heavy on the chest. I'm happy about that. And I was fully fasted when I did it. So that kind of takes into account the previous day, trying to work off those extra calories that I took in overnight. And then I had a few beers that evening. Nothing too crazy, so I got it there. A little booze. Not really gonna harm me too much. And then on Sunday I went to the gym. I hit back and legs, fully fasted again. And yesterday I did my steps, I drank my water, I had my fruit and veg, I did the baseline criteria. And that was pretty much it. So pretty consistent. The fever threw me off. It didn't slow my results down. As you can see, the leanness has been maintained. If, however, I wasn't sick, I would have probably gone a little bit harder and the results would have been a little bit better. But all in all, I'm happy with that. Today I'm going to go for a run. I might do a few pull-ups as well. And I'm going to maintain this. And like I said, day 37, pretty good. And this is how tracking helps. I wasn't even aware of what I did these past 2 weeks, but then going back to it, I know exactly like, all right, I did work out. I did do the necessary things to get the results. I did work out. I did drink the water. I think water is really necessary, especially in summertime. But in general, like I said, it helps the body perform at a higher level because all your organs are working, well, they're working a lot better because they're not dehydrated. You're not dehydrated. The organs aren't dehydrated. And so it just helps everything run smoothly, like putting oil in the machine to get it nicely greased up so that it works well. That's what water's doing to the body, as well as the nutrition, the vegetables and the fruits. Now, when we're eating a lot of processed food, we get a little bit bloated, especially if it's really high in sugar, salts and fats. Then we'll get bloated, and then we'll have like a bit of brain fog. And then after half an hour of eating the food, we're going to have an insulin dump into our bloodstream, which is going to take all of the sugar out of the bloodstream. And that's going to make us feel lethargic and tired. And then that's going to last a couple of hours. And if we're feeling lethargic and tired and the insulin has taken all of the sugar out of our blood, then we're going to crave a little bit more sugar because we want to kind of bring ourselves back up to a good blood sugar level. And usually we crave something that's easily accessible. Usually it's processed. And so we go back for the simple carbohydrates, which are like biscuits or white bread or whatever the carb may be. And that's why it's not really the best idea to eat too many processed foods. I remember what the author said. I can't remember what author specifically, but it was either in The Power of Habit. I think the author's name is Michael Dunhue, or was it in Switch, which is a book written by Chip Heath. And these are both books about psychology and on willpower. And if I remember correctly, I think it was actually The Power of Habit by, is it Michael Dunhue? The Power of Habit is the name of the book. And he said that if you eat too many processed foods, well, then that has a direct impact on the amount of willpower we can exert. If we're eating too many processed foods, it's gonna really trigger what I just said with the insulin dump, the feeling lethargic, the brain fog, and then wanting to eat some more high calorie, quick carbohydrates, processed foods, simple carbs. And then that's gonna affect our willpower in terms of being motivated to do stuff. So if we eat healthy greens, a lot of fruits, a lot of veg, drink a lot of water, stay well hydrated, we're gonna feel fuller for longer. Our body's going to be digesting that food a lot easier. So we're going to be helping our body assimilate all of those calories, assimilate all of those nutrients, and it's going to be allocating them to the right places in the body, which is going to be helping us. And it's going to give us a lot of mental power, which is what we want to push us to exercise or to do something productive. That's why it's a wise thing to eat good foods, good, healthy, wholesome foods. And that's why I do it, because I know for a fact that when I'm eating like salads and I'm eating or drinking nice green shakes, or I'm just eating like nuts or real foods, I always feel a lot better, and it makes me a little bit more motivated to go out and do stuff. And that's why I always talk about nutrition. Now, obviously we slack. Obviously, actually, I should mention, I didn't write it down, but on, for example, Saturday, I had some cake. On yesterday, my brother came back from Denmark and he bought me back one of those Cinnabons. He was super hyped about Cinnabon, and it was actually all right. So I had one, I actually halved it, gave him half, I had half. But the thing was massive, it was like that big, so half of it was enough. So I am still having bits and pieces here and there. It's not about restricting everything. Because if we restrict everything, I know for myself, in the past I've done that. And even to this day, it's hard for me to still engage and eat, these treats and that, because I've kind of mind fucked myself into not wanting to do it because it's bad. But I know that it's actually good for me, and I know that I actually enjoy having something sweet every once in a while, having a small bag of crisps every once in a while. So I allow myself to do it. It's a little test I'm doing at the moment, and it seems to be working because, as you can see, the results speak for themselves. Even though I've had these little bits and pieces here and there, I haven't starved myself. I haven't restricted myself from everything. I'm allowing myself to have it. All I'm doing is fasting and working out, being consistent in that. Intermittent fasting, the power of that is unbelievable. So it's a good idea to eat wholesome foods because it will help our willpower. And without willpower, we ain't really going to be getting up to much. Because if we can't motivate ourselves to get up off the sofa and out the door to work out, or just up off the sofa, changed, and then a home workout, we will never succeed. We will never get the results. But even if we can't do the workouts, the steps, that's the minimum. And the fasting, it will provide a lot. So that is the update, 37th day. I got 33 more days. So like I said, 66 days builds the habit. This is actually a pretty good little habit that I've been building. This is the first time I've been tracking everything like this intensely. Although, do I have it here? In one of my... It would be good if I just pulled it out when it was this one. It's not that. Let me quickly show you what I did do at one point. And this also helped me. All of these goddamn books. Is it this one? It could be this one. Could it be? I'll tell you what I did. What I did do was this. I tracked, here we go. The last one. I kept a food log. This is what I did. And the food log, this was a game changer. It was a good little experiment I did. I wouldn't recommend doing this now. I'd first get through the grid. And once the grid has been completed and the habit has been built, and if you want to take it to the next level, then I would get involved with the food log. Because here you track all your macros. So your fats, your proteins, and your carbohydrates. And you have to be tracking the amount of calories. So that's what I was doing. I was tracking my fats, my proteins, my carbohydrates, my daily amount of calories. I think I wrote that down. And after I did this, I'll tell you, I lost so much fat. It was crazy. So on training days, I was only eating 2,040 calories. I was having 164 grams of protein, 44 grams of fat, and 240 grams of carbs. And on rest day, I would only be eating 1,700 calories, which was 206 grams of protein, 56 grams of fat, and 111 grams of carbs. Now this was mental because I had to weigh all my food out. So that's why I wouldn't recommend doing that now. I would first, that's something off into the future that you can think about doing. If you really want to push it hard and lean down and take it that extra mile. This is good enough though. As you can see, it generates the results. This is what all these fitness freaks do out there. They're like, yeah, you gotta track your macros. What about your macros, bruh? Well, fuck the macros, I say. I just say, eat real foods, healthy foods. Science has shown this. In general, if you look at a culture or a society that eats their food, not the Western diet or the standard American diet, which is now a global thing. Everyone kind of eats that, which is just predominantly processed foods. If we stay away from the processed foods and we eat real foods, suddenly the weight problems disappear. And if we move on top of that, then people start looking good and disease starts to go down. Diabetes starts to disappear. So that should be a little indicator that maybe what we need to do is move more and eat real food. And if we can help ourselves track it to keep us motivated, because I see all of the progress and then I can see my habit being built. In theory, maybe I should put a little box there saying, this is the goal where the habit is built. Then that would help us all along, will help me along for sure. So that's my update, 37 days. How's your update going? How's your grid going? Have you remained consistent? Have you been slacking here and there? Have you fallen off the wagon? Have you given up? I'd like to know. It'd be interesting to know. And if it has proven to be helpful and you have a little 2 cents you'd like to add, don't forget to leave it in the comments. And don't forget to like this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Oh yeah, and subscribe. Ta-da.